Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Art Devereaux, Director of Quality Assurance with Sunera Technologies, and welcome to our presentation on why now is the time for companies to consider upgrading to Oracle EBS 12.2. Leading today's call is Lavanya Salagundala, Head of Test Engineering at SuneraTech. Please feel free to ask any questions you may have in the Q&A section of the webinar or in the chat area, and we'll address those during the Q&A portion of the call. Thank you again for joining today's call, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Lavanya. Lavanya, all yours.
Thanks, Art. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. So the reason we are here today, why now is the time you should start thinking about the upgrade of your EBS applications. One of the reasons is, currently the premium support for 12.1 is ending by December 2021. So if you look at it, move to 12.2, you've got up until 2030 to support through 2030. So you've got a lot of time to look at options that you have. Right. So that is one of the reasons, because when you're looking at a project like this, just the upgrade itself takes about 4 to 6 months, but that's just the upgrade part of it, right? So there are a lot of the considerations you have to make, decisions that you have to make when it comes to this upgrade. That takes much longer. So before you know it, the time will come. So a lot of our customers have started upgrade, planning for migration, or coming up with a plan as to when they want to do it, then when they want to start this, right? So some of the reasons why you should be moving to this version of EBS is obviously the extended support till 2030 that you would have. Second one is it also enables online patching that reduces a lot of downtime when you're applying patches. So once you move to 12.2. So new look and feel. The UI is lighter and fresher. It kind of mimics how the cloud SaaS applications are, so that you're getting a much better UI. There are a lot of performance improvements done on the WebLogic server side. It supports middleware 12.2 cloning. You also are probably considering updating your database, because the database versions are going out of support much sooner. So if you need to plan a database upgrade and then at some other point in time the EBS to upgrade, you have to spend more time doing testing for both times. So you look at combining the effort for the database upgrade as well as the 12.2 upgrade into one, or any other practice and other things that you're planning on. You can combine it so that there is one single project that takes care of everything that you're looking at. There's a lot of good technical features and functional enhancements as well that have been done in the 12.2 version versus the 12.1 or 11i that you might have. Right. So there are some of the reasons that you should be considering moving to EBS 12.2 version. So once you make that decision to move, there are a few things that you would be looking at it, because this is a major project when you're moving from 12.1 to 12.2. So what are the options that you have, and what are the decisions that you should be thinking about, considering that there's a lot of push towards moving everything to cloud, right? So obviously one option is you could just do a technical upgrade from your current version to 12.2, or you could just pay additional to so that while you don't you have a lot of customizations and you're not looking at moving to SaaS, you could also consider moving to cloud infra, keeping the EBS as is and lifting and shifting into the cloud. You can do it multiple ways. If you want to do a complete lift and shift, or you could look at non-prod environments so that you have the ability to support mobility, or it is completely do a lift and shift into the cloud infrastructure, right? So that you get the benefits of cloud in terms of again agility. You can spin up environments as you may, and you're paying for infrastructure that you're using, right? Instead of your own data centers, managing the data center, managing the infrastructure becomes cost prohibitive at some point in time, especially with 12.2 upgrade. You do need to look at additional support that is required. The other option, the other decision that you could make is moving to the cloud PaaS, right? So you want to move your the software as a service that Oracle provides. So that's your HCM, ERP, EPM, whatever modules you're using in EBS, you could move to cloud. And even that you could do in phases. You could, move some modules into cloud and then upgrade the rest, or you could do a complete roadmap of moving all your applications into cloud. Again, all these decisions will take time, and that is the reason you've got to start thinking about it now if you're going to do the upgrade, because there's not a lot of time. If you decide to move to SaaS, then that requires its own decision-making process in terms of identifying a partner that is going to help you with that implementation process, the RFP process, and things like that. And so these are a few areas that you might want to think about. There are a lot of benefits for each of the option. Obviously, if you want to move into cloud, there are benefits that come with it as well, right? So critical factors for a successful upgrade, obviously, you need to analyze your environment, review the architectural changes that are coming in from 12.1 to 12.2. 12.2 is going to be a technical upgrade, so you need the technical resources that provide the ability for you to do the upgrade successfully and then maintain ongoing after that. You want to evaluate the applications integrated with EBS as well. It's not just changes that you're going through with EBS, but also make sure that your third-party integrations or your other applications are integrating well with the latest version of EBS that you plan on moving to. You also want to make sure that the sizing is done properly because there are some additional sizing requirements when it comes to 12.2. So you might want to make sure that you understand that and you plan for it. Want to finalize the upgrade path, as the previous slide. What path do you plan on taking? Do you want to just do a technical upgrade? Do you want to start dipping your toes into the cloud, whether it's infrastructure side or whether it's on the SaaS side? Right? So you might want to finalize that path so that you're looking through the future and not just this one upgrade. Then you want to prepare your process flow, how it's going to be done, to look at all the customizations that you have done over a period of time. How do you want to deploy those customizations, and analyzing, see how you can minimize the upgrade time so that your users are not in downtime. And also the understanding the factors of time and resources. Like upgrade would require you to have resources available with you to be able to do this successfully, and also the amount of time it's going to take for you to do this upgrade, and what kind of resources do you need from your team, from your users to make this upgrade successful. And last but not the least, planning for testing, because any upgrade project brings in the necessity for you to do a lot of testing, not just the changes that are coming in as part of the upgrade. The user interface is going to be new. You want to make sure that you're doing functional testing, regression testing. You want to make sure that all integrations that you have are working appropriately once you do the upgrade. So the integrations testing would be important. Doing end-to-end testing to make sure that everything is flowing, the data is flowing appropriately across different modules, like whether it's your procure to pay or order to cash, or all these processes are working seamlessly after the upgrade. And last but not least, you also need to plan for load and performance testing. Since you are upgrading to the new version, you want to ensure that the performance is still good. And that needs to be planned for as well. So there's a lot of work that needs to go in from a testing standpoint, and that needs to be planned as well for a successful upgrade, and to do this in a timely fashion, right? If you don't plan for it, then you might your project timelines get impacted as well. So how we are helping our customers who are going through this journey? We have several customers who are making different decisions. We have customers who have moved from on-prem to SaaS for some applications, and some applications are still in EBS. They're planning on to do it at a little later phase. We have customers who move from on-prem completely to SaaS. All their applications, their HR systems, finance systems, the planning and budgeting, supply chain, everything is moving to cloud. We have customers who are just doing technical upgrade, and we also have customers who have decided to do lift and shift to cloud and upgrade. Right, so they're getting infrastructure side of the upgrade. They're leveraging the cloud infrastructure while still keeping EBS and moving that to cloud. So how we are helping through this process? So we have several accelerators that we have developed over a period of time for EBS customers that would enable through automatic a lot of these updates. For example, we have Ringmaster automated patch management tool that actually helps analyze all the CAMLs that you have in place and help with the automated patch management. It saves almost 30-40% of pre and post update patch management steps that you would have to do as part of the upgrade. We also have Ringmaster DAT tool that enables automated deployment, which will save almost 90% of developer time. We have CloudTestr, that is an automation testing platform that enables leveraging automation across your functional regression end-to-end testing, and it saves tremendous amount of time from your user standpoint that needs to be leveraged when it comes to your upgrade project, whether you're upgrading it, doing a technical upgrade, or whether you're moving it to cloud infrastructure and doing an upgrade there, or if you decide to move to SaaS, right? So the CloudTestr platform can support automation across all different types of upgrade options that you have, including both cloud applications as well as on-prem your EBS on-prem systems as well. And last but not the least, we are also providing the zero-cost cloud migration for customers who have decided to move to cloud infrastructure but don't have budgets set aside, and especially in current conditions, everybody is struggling to save money. So this enables, when you move to cloud, it does enable you a lot of savings that comes with cloud because of the flexibility that you get with cloud, and you can bring up and bring down the systems that you really need at any point in time. But if you don't have budget set aside, we actually provide zero-cost cloud migration for customers where you can actually move to cloud without any additional investment that you have to find. And it also guarantees 40% savings on infrastructure and management costs. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Ringmaster and the zero-cost cloud module, but we'll spend more time on the CloudTestr automation portion of it. We'll be doing series of webinars where we will also spend time on these other areas so that you could get more information on how the zero-cost cloud migration works and how the Ringmaster Studio works. So the Ringmaster Studio automated patch tool that we have, it can do in an automated fashion impact analysis of all the customizations and business that you have. It avoids any risk of missing any aspects because we are automating the patch process, and it also eliminates any risk, of any schedule overruns, right? Because we are kind of avoiding any human errors that could get used in the patch application or patch promotions, and it also keeps you on track from a compliance standpoint. So the patch management tool provides a tremendous amount of capabilities through your upgrade process and patching process post that. And the deployment automation tool that we have also automates the whole deployment process. So it reduces the developers' work during the migration. It also brings consistency in your deliverables and removes any dependencies that you have. And it also generates your migration document, MD120 document, automatically. So zero-cost cloud migration that I briefly talked about is, again, from a value proposition standpoint, you can move to cloud without any additional investment from your organization standpoint. We can guarantee 40% savings, and it could accelerate your move to cloud and realize cost and innovation benefits that cloud provides. Right, so that's one of the reasons you should consider looking at cloud seriously at this time, especially because you could actually get savings out of moving to cloud, managing your own data center. We can also develop and strategy for you. I'll talk about it briefly at the end, but this way, helping you from initial assessment, making decisions in terms of whether you want to move to cloud infrastructure or SaaS. It's cloud infrastructure, what is the best cloud to move to, whether it's Oracle Cloud Infrastructure or others, AWS or others, and the pros and cons of it. And we can actually do a quick proof of value on the cloud to see how it actually looks and a complete roadmap of the time and all that, so that it will be a seamless process, the whole upgrade project that you might have to undertake. Let's talk a little bit about the CloudTestr automation platform. We want to spend a little bit more time today on this because whenever we talk to customers about the upgrade, one of the things that keeps coming up is we don't have time. We don't have time. Users are busy. We not do testing. It takes too much effort to do the testing, especially if it's such a large upgrade. So testing has always become a bottleneck for our customers, right? So what CloudTestr provides is the ability to automate the whole testing process, right? Whether it's functional testing, regression testing, all the customizations that you might have done. We have customers who have done almost 60-70% customizations on their EBS. They can't even recognize what the standard version was versus what they have currently, right? So enabling automation across your functional regression, also integration. EBS system might have a lot of other integrations that you are dealing with, whether it's third-party integrations, whether it's inbound integrations or outbound integrations. You have FTP-based point-to-point. You've got APIs that you're integrating with, or you're integrating with other cloud applications. So there's a lot of different integrations that are in play, and it's critical for the success that you not only do the testing of your EBS system, but you want to test the integrations as well. The end-to-end testing is another area. You want to make sure that your data is flowing from the modules as well as different systems. And performance testing is another key area, like we said, for an upgrade project that needs to be done. And security testing as well, right? So these are some of the key areas that you would be considering. The platform is an enterprise platform that supports all different types of applications, your SaaS applications, your on-prem applications, any custom applications and integrations. Right? That way, you can actually testing, complete integrations testing, all across your different applications. Whether you move some applications to SaaS and keep some on-prem, you could still leverage the same platform from an automation standpoint. Right? That gives you a lot of benefits, automated testing, and help you post upgrade as well. Right? If you have an automated suite available with you for regression testing, the next time you have to get a patch or upgrade to the next version, to think so much, look for users' time and all, you'll be able to give users new functionality much faster. You get a lot increased velocity as well as agility in terms of implementing new features for your business users without having to wait for people's time availability. Right. So the platform itself is a scriptless solution that we have. We don't really write any code. We capture and configure a transaction, and the platform auto-generates code for us. I'll quickly show you a demo how the actual execution looks like. The platform can host it on a cloud infrastructure, but we have flexibility in hosting on-prem as well. If you have decided that you just want to do a technical update and you're not looking at cloud at this point in time, you can still leverage it and we can host it on-prem for you. But a lot of our customers are leveraging cloud infrastructure as well. And in terms of maintenance and execution, we can bring automation up and running fairly quickly. We can get automation up and running in 6 weeks time. If it is EBS, if it is SaaS, running within 4 to 6 weeks. Right. So you can spin up automation much faster, and you can start leveraging that automation during your implementation as well as post-implementation. And once the automation is up and running, you can execute these tests within 5 business days, including maintenance and execution of these tests. Right. So I just wanted to quickly walk through for EBS upgrade specifically. How does the test plan look like? Right. That includes automation and testing and whatnot. Right. So this is the usual upgrade phases. You've got the design phase, build phase, rollout. During the design phase, the milestones and business processes to define the testing strategy, and we'll align the business processes with our testing scenarios, identify test cases that would be applicable in your environment, including all the customization that you might have done. We can automate, create an automation and the performance test plan at this point to make sure that we plan for, well, these are the things we're going to be automating. This is the performance, load and performance test plan that would be implemented and whatnot. We'll also look at the data transactions, making sure that transactional data is being verified, and we'll support the CRP1 and unit testing at that point in time. During the build phase, we'll be aligning with your CRP2 that when testing through automation. That while supporting all the testing to be done as part of the migration. And we'll also provide defect summaries, defect triage, scenarios, and so on and so forth. CRP3, the automation completely, will conduct the load and performance testing, any localization features that are there, provide UAT support to your business, and perform the rollout testing and do a go-no-go check from a quality standpoint. Right. So these are kind of the activities that are going to be performed as part of the upgrade. The whole automation performance, the whole testing is taken care of as part of the whole upgrade project, so that you don't have to worry about testing being a bottleneck as part of your upgrade project. I want to quickly show the demo for CloudTestr. So this is a login screen for CloudTestr. We provide this platform as a service, so you can actually log into the platform at any point in time to look at the dashboards of the automation that has been done, developed, what test cases have been planned to be automated, how many have been completed, how many have been reviewed and signed off and all. You get a complete dashboard view. You can also look at the test execution status right from the dashboard to see how many test cases are planned to be executed, how many passed, how many failed, and all that. You can also get the defect stats here, and defects we can also integrate with your existing defect management tool, whether it's Jira or ALM or any ServiceNow or any others that you're using, or you can just use this dashboard here on CloudTestr. Right. So you can also drill down into more details. So if you look at it here, I can actually pick and choose what product line I have, whether it's a procure to pay, apply, and check the status associated with it, how many tests have been completed, how many are still in progress, how many are reviewed and signed off. So all that information you can drill down on the dashboard by logging into the platform on your own. And same thing with test case execution. You can actually even filter by releases. So you can take a look at by release, what is the status of test cases, how many were executed, how many passed, how many failed, and whatnot. So you've got a lot of dashboard details that you get. Let me pull up the test case here to show you how it looks. So this is an end-to-end test case that we have created. It's an order to cash flow that we have created. So if you look at the thing, like I said, it's a scriptless solution. We really don't write the code, but what we do is we capture and configure a transaction. And while we are doing that, we also take screenshots. So since if you move to 12.2, it's all going to be new screens and the new functionality and all that needs to be incorporated. So from a test case documentation standpoint, you get a pretty detailed documentation from CloudTestr itself. So we auto-generate the documentation, so you can actually download this document at any point in time by logging into the platform. So if you look at it here, I just downloaded this document. So you see the step that I'm performing, and then the screen associated with that step. Right. So this is actually done on 12.2.9 version. So that's why you're seeing the different user interface. And these step definitions can be configured as needed, whether you want more detail, less detail. We can do that and auto-generate the document, right? So you can even use this for training purposes because it's pretty detailed, and we can configure it as needed for your organization. Right. So that's the documentation, and the same thing with the test results. The test results are pretty detailed. So if you look at it here, we can see when the test case was executed, how long it took to execute it, whether it's passed or failed, which instance we executed it on. And every time we execute the test, we have a complete history of that execution. And this also enables us to any transaction level performance as well. If we're seeing any degradation in performance from a transaction level, we can identify here as well. So I'll quickly look at one of the test case. So if you look at it here, so you see the details of the test case, where we executed it, the past, the number of iterations. I'll quickly come to when I'm going to talk about the data. And if you look at the steps, failed steps, if there's something that fails, we show that up front, so you don't have to scroll through the whole thing to figure out where it failed, along with a screenshot. And you have pretty detailed screenshot and steps, whether it's passed or failed. Right? You can also download the same. So again, what we're doing here is, though we are leveraging automation to do your testing, you still have a complete record of what has been done that you can download and have your users review it. Right. So if you look at it here, this document, again, you have all the details that we talked about, when we executed it, how long it took to execute, the steps that you're performing with the screenshot and the step and the status. Right. So you can actually review the results, which are pretty detailed, including the screenshots, so that you can feel comfortable on the execution that has been done and signed off. Right. So though your users don't have to do the test themselves, which takes a lot of time, they could just still review the tests to feel comfortable that it all looks good. Right. So that's the screens, the results files, how it looks. For the failed test case, like I said, you could actually see the details of the failure, where it failed, and the step, the screenshot of that. Right. So, and we can also do triage once it fails. Instead of chucking it off to figure out why it failed, we actually do our triage to see if it failed because of the automation script, because of data, because of network errors, or if it's really an issue. Right. If it is an issue, then we'll log a defect and share the details with you. Right. So, I want to quickly talk about test data as well, because the automation project to be successful, data management becomes very key. So we actually do automated test data management from the beginning, so that we are understanding for the scenarios that are there, what data we'll be using, where the data is coming from, whether it's static data or dynamic data. If it's dynamic data, then how are we getting it? We can actually queries to go to the database and fetch necessary information, and then feed that as input to our test case to execute it. Or we can actually create a test set where we get dependencies of the test cases, and we can run output of the first test case to input to the next test case and so on and so forth. So that's another way of managing the data. If it is static data that we can, and we are going to iterate through the same data set for iterate through multiple data sets for the single test case, then we can just iterate through that. So I can actually run the same test case, the order to cash flow with 10 different records, right? So that so that you're kind of optimizing your test coverage. You're not writing 10 different automated tests. You're writing one, but you're running it through the data part of it, right? So that provides you a lot of opportunities to iterate through data management as well, right? So this is something that we do during the initial onboarding of automation, so that we know where the data is coming from, what data to be used, and we automate it so that there is no manual intervention that is required when the actual tests are being performed, right? So I'm going to quickly show an execution of this particular test so you can see how it actually looks in action. So we're just pulling up the test case that I just showed you. Right, so we're starting the execution. So the execution gets triggered on a virtual machine so that we don't have to actually monitor the tests that are happening. Right? We can actually trigger the test and have it execute, behind the scenes. Right. So that's one of the reasons we are able to get through a lot of these tests much faster, because we can do unmonitored and parallel execution, and we can get through a lot of test cases in a short period of time. Now, do you want to walk through the flow?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So yeah, this is a typical order to cash flow. And initially we're entering the sales order, and once we enter the sales order, we are going to do booking the sales order.
Your voice is not clear.
Okay.
That's fine. So this is the whole order to cash.
Now is it better now?
No. Okay, so if you look at it here, we are kind of running through this whole process, and we also do a lot of validations as part of the test, so that we validate, we open the invoice and check. Right, so there's a lot of validations also happening as part of the test. It's not just running through a positive test, but we can do a lot of negative tests as well. And there's a lot of data permutations and combinations that we can verify as well. If you have multiple legislations, so that needs to be validated, we can do that. Right, so it gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of leveraging automation testing as part of your whole upgrade process as well. So I'm going to quickly push through in the interest of time, so that you can actually see that there's a lot of tasks that we are performing here from an order to cash flow standpoint.
Yeah, what Lavan is stating about, we have actually recorded, and also now we will playback on this order to cash flow. It is a typically like various test steps involved as part of the entry and test process, right from entering to booking the sales order, releasing the sales order. There is like a pick release, and after that zip confirmation. So once the zip confirmation has been done, just now we have done like a workflow background engine we have run, just to ensure like the sales order line status will be changed from shipped to closed. So once that is done, now we are verifying the AR interface lines, whether the sales order has been interfaced or not. So now we have an item sales order information. So now we are running the auto invoice master program. This program is going to trigger a child program, auto invoice import program, where we are able to see the particular sales order information here. This is about auto invoice master program. This will trigger basically like a auto invoice import program, which we are validating again, like by taking the specific request ID. Yeah, it little take some time. This autonomous master program has been completed with normal status. So now we are going to validate that child program, autonomous import program is completed or not. This is the child program. So we are just going to the output, report output, and we are validating whether that sales order information has been interfaced or interface tables or not. That we are going to validate. That is like base tables here. So now we can able to selected one and completed successfully processed one. So now we are going to the AR transaction form and we are just validating the sales, validating the transaction by giving the reference as a sales order number. So against the sales order number 33, we have a AR transaction, select sales invoice. This is a typical order to cash flow we just recorded just for your quick information how exactly the tool is going to work. Laurie can go ahead please.
Everyone, sorry about that. My thing got disconnected. So that completes the execution of the thing. So let's go back to the presentation to look at the key functionality of CloudTestr. So we provide this as platform as a service. It's more of a subscription and consumption based pricing that we provide. So you're only paying for what you use. For example, after the upgrade, if you only do 2 times a year changes to your EBS applications, then you're only leveraging the regression testing for 2 times a year. So you're only going to be paying for that instead of paying for somebody sitting around doing nothing through the year, right? It's completely consumption based. You pay for what you use. We have a lot of pre-built test libraries also available for both on-prem and cloud applications. So we can bring up and running automation for both pretty fast. It is an enterprise platform, like you said, that supports multiple applications under test, whether it's your on-prem system, cloud system, custom applications, integrations, and whatnot. So that enables one automation platform to support automation across your applications and end-to-end flows. We do have metrics and dashboards that you can see by logging into the platform at any point in time. We also provide automated test data management that ensures that we're not taking away too much time from your users in providing data, as well as we're reducing any data related errors that come when we're executing the test. So we do onboard, like you said, for EBS within 6 weeks, for the cloud SaaS between 4 to 6 weeks. And once you're onboarded, it takes about 2 to 5 business days for us to do the maintenance and execution every time there is a release that is coming in. For SaaS applications, we also have automated change management incorporated so that you don't have to read through the release notes and figure out what's coming in. We can actually help you with that. For on-prem, the same thing can be done through Ringmaster Studio, so that you can actually get the patch related information, the impacts of that in an automated fashion for EBS as well. We also perform auto health checks to make sure that there are no process slowdowns or any security breakdowns that are happening. The documentation is auto generated, so your documentation never goes stale. Anytime there are changes coming in, we keep it up, and you can auto generate the most updated documentation, right? So that way you don't have to depend on people keeping up the changes that are happening through the year. Results files, as you have seen, pretty detailed. Even though you're not executing the test, or your users are not executing the test, you can download the results files to review and validate how it looks. We also support integrations, both inbound and outbound integrations, so that you're not just testing the application, but you're testing the whole integration, the data flow from other systems as well. Last but not the least, audit support is another thing, especially for finance users. Whatever is usually required from an internal or external auditor, it's already available in the platform. So you could just log into the platform and show the details of what got changed, what got tested, the screenshots, and any compliance related information that they're looking for. Right. So so in terms of if anybody is looking to get more details or want to partner on this upgrade and or cloud journey, so we do have a successful roadmap plan to make your upgrade and migration successful, step-by-step phase process. We also are providing free workshops with 100 free consulting hours that we provide, so that you can actually make informed decisions. We'll do the assessment, and then we'll do a workshop with your team to figure out what is your path. Right, whether you want to go the infrastructure route, whether you want to go to the SaaS route, whether you just want to do a technical upgrade, so we can actually provide you the guidance in that process, as well as provide you a complete roadmap and execute it for you by leveraging the accelerators that we have, that we talked about, whether it's Ringmaster Studio, whether it's CloudTestr, to ensure that your upgrade happens in a shorter window, as well as your rollout is with quality, and your users will have confidence in what from an upgrade standpoint that you're planning on doing. Right. So that's all we've had to present today. So we can open it up for question and answers.
All right, thanks, Lavanya. There's a few questions that have been posted. The first question is from Barry. Barry is wondering if we can use CloudTestr for actually testing the customizations.
Yes, Barry, we can test the customizations. It's not just vanilla scenarios we're testing. We're actually testing your implementation, whatever customizations that you have done. That is what we're capturing, and that is what we're validating to make sure it works as planned.
Okay. And then Satish is asking, it sounds like they may have some automation in place currently within his organization, but he's wondering, is there going to be any impact on the existing test automation because of the upgrade?
Yes, there will be, because 12.2 will have, I mean, you have the option to move to the new UI in 12.2. If you do, then your current automated scripts might not work. There will definitely be a lot of rework that needs to happen to bring them up to the level where they actually work for the 12.2 version. So there'll be a lot of maintenance that we'll have to do. So we'll have to plan for that.
Okay. And I think there's a question from Sharad, but it appears basically similar to Satish's. Do we have web screens changing, or are they going to be the same basically after the upgrade, which I believe you just basically answered?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there will be changes. Yeah.
There's a question from Jessica currently. It's CloudTestr tool. Is this offered as a service, or is it actually a tool?
So we offer it as a service, platform as a service. So you will have access to the tool. So you can log in, you can look at the dashboards, you can download the documentation, download the results and all. But we have both options. We offer it as a service, as well as we also offer a self-service option. Once we do initial onboarding, we can provide the training and provide it as an option as well. Self-service as an option as well.
Gotcha. Okay. And then Lavanya, maybe you can speak a little bit more. You had mentioned security testing. Can you explain a little bit more around that and what is meant by the security testing?
So here we mean we are going to do role-based security testing, different roles that you have configured. We'll make sure that the different roles are seeing the screens that they should be seeing. It's more role-based security that we're talking about here.
Okay. Okay. And then there's a question from I think it's Sidali. For the workflow on 12.2x has to be rebuilt, or taken into consideration as part of the upgrade process? I'm not sure I quite understand the question, but I think he's asking you, do you have to rebuild the workflows, or are those transferred over?
I think we'll have to take that one offline.
Yeah, yes. Sidali, can maybe if you could ask a clarifying question so I can get you the right answer, that would be great. But I appreciate the question. There's another question from Sharad. It looks like, how will Neotix reporting work after the cloud migration? Maybe it's not Neotix.
Naga, do you know?
Okay, please repeat the question.
It's around the reporting. Notix reporting. How will Notix reporting tool work after the cloud migration?
It was without any issues because we are actually working for a couple of clients where we are working on the reporting part also. We haven't found any such issues actually.
Okay. Sharad, we can connect with you to talk about the reporting specifically, because I'm sure I'm butchering the name of the report. Okay. We talked about the workflow. Lavanya, that's all the questions we have at the moment right now.
Okay, great. So if you want to connect with us, you can definitely reach out to us at CloudTestr@suneratech.com. My contact details are here. We can set up a separate conversation, not just for CloudTestr, but for your overall journey. We can work with you to enable you through that process, make it a simplified process for you. And we'll also do other webinars to talk about the other aspects of what I covered today. I know today we have focused more on CloudTestr.
Lavanya, one last question from Sidali. He did ask a clarifying question, so thank you, Sidali. It says, if I have a customized workflow, blanket release approval on 12.1.3 and I'm upgrading to 12.2, do I have to rebuild them? And what about the embedded functions in Oracle App Packages?
So from a customization standpoint, you will have to bring it up to code for what 12.2 has standards. I think there would be some changes that you would need to do for your customizations to make it work in 12.2. But there are options in terms of how much you need to do to get it up to code, because they have online patching that is getting enabled with 12.2. And if you want your customizations also be part of that online patching that provides a very minimal downtime, then you would have to bring it up to code on what that online patching requires. If not, you could just make some changes. I think you would need to make some changes to make sure that the customizations work with 12.2. So there is some work involved from a customization standpoint.
Great. Okay. We don't have any other questions at the moment, so I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We want to thank everybody for joining us today. We hope you found this informative and enlightening. Please reach out to us if you have any further questions. And the folks that we couldn't get answers to, particularly on the reporting, because I screwed that one up, we'll go ahead and definitely reach out to you and get you the clarifications that you're seeking. Okay?
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you, everyone.